Hey guys, Baron here, and today we're finally back with another episode of Legendary Origins. In the last episode, which was a while ago, we covered the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Celebi. But finally today, we're moving on to the home region, starting off with the Regi trio, being Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, and their mascot, Regigigas. So we're going to be covering both home Pokemon and Sinnoh Pokemon today. So guys, if you're excited about that, and are excited about Legendary Origins finally making a return to this channel, make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and share this video with a friend or two. But with that being said, let's get into it. Now, to understand the origins of the Regi trio, we first need to look at the Golems. These were creatures of Hebrew legends that were created essentially out of dead material, meaning a material that isn't alive and doesn't have any organic properties. So that would be, for example, metals, and ice, rock, and iron, meaning that all of those are essentially duplicated in the Regi trio. But it is essentially an unfinished substance, and very much something that is not alive and really is being put to life by a magician or a sorcerer. One legend that is very significant when it comes to the Golems is the legend of Rabbi Lowell. According to this legend, a rabbi named Lowell created a golem out of clay on a beach. He put a spell in his mouth to make him alive. The golem worked in the rabbi's house as sort of a servant. He was shy and modest and did not speak. But every Sabbath, the spell in the golem was removed, turning off its life force essentially. One day, the rabbi forgot and the golem started running wild, hurting people, and when the rabbi managed to take the spell out, he decided to never make the golem come to life again. He left it in the attic of the old new synagogue in Prague, where it is said to remain to this day. So now that we've explained the basic anatomy of the golems, let's actually get into the trio. Starting with Regirock, the golem made out of rocks. Its name is a combination of Regis, meaning royal in Latin, and rock essentially, because Regi plus rock makes Regirock. It's the same name in Japanese and English. It is a rock-beat Pokemon, and it is 1.7 meters tall, or 5'7", and weighs 230 kilograms. So quite a big lump of rocks. Its abilities are Clear Body and Sturdy. Clear Body making it so that the stats of the Pokemon can't be reduced by the opponent's Pokemon, and Sturdy essentially making it so whenever you're at full HP, you'll always live at 1 HP when you're attacked with a move. Now, something interesting about the Regis and the Golems that they have in common, and essentially with Regirock too in that case, is that the Golems were said to have writings on their head, just as Regirock does. When this writing was removed, the creature would be weakened, which is interesting because essentially, when you encounter Regirock in the wild, it has to activate its writing essentially to gain its power back. So maybe that has some kind of connection. Something else that is very interesting about Regirock is that its footprints resembles a scarab beetle, actually a real-life insect that was considered to be ancient by Egyptians and holy. So does that mean that based on that Regirock is essentially sealed in the desert, does that mean that the Egyptians had something to do with that? The equivalent of the Egyptians, at least, in the Pokemon world. It's certainly an interesting theory to think about. Moving on to Regice. It is an ice-type Pokemon, and its name is a combination of Regis, like I said, being royal in Latin, and ice. And it's the same name in Japanese and English. Its abilities are Clear Body and Ice Body. Clear Body making it so that any stats aren't lowered by, and Ice Body makes it so after each turn of Hail, the Pokemon returns 1/6 of its HP. It is an Iceberg Pokemon. It is 1.8 meters tall, or 5'11", and weighs 175 kilograms. So not as heavy as Regirock, but taller than Regirock. Interestingly, ice is one of the sturdiest items, but it is meltable of course. It is strange considering that Regice is found in moderately warm climates of the south of Hoenn. So does that mean that the cave has an AC? Or what's the deal? I don't really know, but you guys can figure it out. Finally, moving on to Registeel. Its name is a combination of Regis, just as Regice and Regirock, and steel, a kind of metal. It is the Iron Pokemon, and it is 1.9 meters tall, or 6'3", and weighs 205 kilograms. So damn, it is almost as tall as me, but of course way heavier. And it is actually the tallest of the Regi trio, but weighs the second most. Another interesting thing about Registeel is that steel is not a naturally occurring element. So this leads me to thinking, how was it built by Regigigas so long ago? Or is it actually made out of steel or something else entirely? Maybe it is some other metal that we don't really know and haven't really discovered yet. That definitely is food for thought, but that's the interesting thing about the Regi trio. They don't have way too complex origins, but the origins they do have really leaves you thinking. Now, normally, this would be the end of the video, where I would say goodbye to you guys. But of course, we aren't done yet. We have one more Regi to go. The big behemoth himself, Regigigas. And he's a big disappointment. Of course, Regigigas is the leader of the Legendary Titans, but his ability is slow start, making him so trash. Essentially, this ability lowers his attack and defense in the first couple rounds in the battle. But that's not something you want, and certainly not something that you should have with a legendary Pokemon, essentially, and especially a leader of a legendary trio. Moving on, however, its name is Regigigas, and that essentially is the combination of Regi meaning royal in Latin, and Gigas meaning huge. And it's the same name in Japanese and English, just like the other legendary titans. It is the colossal Pokemon, and is 3.7 meters tall, or 12 foot 02, and weighs 420 kilograms. I mean, honestly, that's just such a huge fucking beast. Something interesting about Regigigas though is its origins, and essentially the mythos behind it. According to legend and Sinnoh-legend, it helped shape the continents with ropes. And remember what we talked about with the legend of Lowell and the Golems? It is thought that Regigigas is based on that very specific golem. Based on that, it feared people with its immense power, and therefore it was locked away. The golem from the story was trapped in an attic, while Regigigas was trapped in a basement in the Snow Point Temple, which certainly is interesting, and you can certainly see the parallels between these two legends. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. I know it was a bit of a shorter one, but the Legendary Titans don't really have that extensive origins, and I essentially wanted to cover that up with some interesting mythos and some interesting facts. And I hope that was entertaining for you. And if it was, leave some feedback and let us know that it was. Maybe that could be something that we could do with the legendaries that don't really have too in-depth origins. But guys, in the next episode, we're gonna move past the Legendary Titans and focus on other legendaries of the home region. So we're gonna cover Latias and Latios in the next episode. I think that's gonna be interesting. They certainly have some really interesting origins. So guys, stick around for that. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe that subscribe button, and share this video with a friend or two. With that being said, I'm gonna get the hashtag out of here. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Before, until, and after I see you next time though, stay awesome.